Hello, everybody. Welcome to our channel, Opening Up the Closet with Tripat. I am so excited to be here with you. I'm so excited to talk with you. And we do this all the time. And I receive immense messages and texts in my platforms. For example, I got a lot of emails the other day for people wanting me to address what they are going through. And I realized that even as we started this journey of talking, there are so many people who just want somebody to really talk to or talk with. And if you can find a friend out there who you can talk with, if you can find a sister or brother, a parent, just anybody that you can trust, anybody you're comfortable around, please talk to them. And talking heals. I will tell you this for free, that after we had just had talks with a few of my friends now who called or reached out, they felt much better. Let us reach out and let us talk with people. Let us get all these things from our unconscious, because that's where we push them a lot of times when we can't deal with them. And we don't want to revisit them. We just want them to stay there. That's where we call our closet. Keep it inside there and we don't want to touch it. So please, let's talk. It heals. Trust me. It heals. And when you go to our channel, we have tried talking about what we go through, what I go through. I shared a bit of my personal life, and I think most people who read my story, they called me, they wrote to me, and they told me they can't believe I went through all that, because they look at me and they think I'm strong. But yes, I am strong because I dealt with it. It sometimes crops up because it is there in the unconscious, but I have stored it there while I had already worked on it. Most of us just give up on things and store it back there, and we do not want to revisit, we don't want to touch it. Let us talk. That is what this channel is here for. Please go to our YouTube page, Opening Up the Closet. We can talk there. You can write to me on patachieng@gmail.com, and I will always reach out. The last time we talked about fear as one of those things that keep pulling us back. We fear doing so much. We have things that we want to do, but we fear. And I was just thinking that there are things that make us fear too. You don't just wake up and you fear doing something. Fear of the unknown and fear of the known too. And we also said that there's good fear, especially for the children, not to touch hot things and all that. That's not what we are talking about. We talk about this fear that hinders us from moving forward and achieving our dreams. One of these things that I shared with a few of my friends now is this monster called failure. We have gone through situations and we have failed terribly. It has given us this feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, unworthiness, demoralized, anxiety. We have reached a situation with it where we think we cannot try anymore. If you have this in your closet, let's get it out. Let's get it out. And do you know why we fail, really? Because we don't take responsibility sometimes for what we go through. We made an attempt, yes. Let's look at politicians. Sometimes I admire these people very much as I do not love politics. But let's look at politicians. When they were doing their campaigns, and some of them, got the positions they were looking for, and some of them did not get those positions. But there could be, but I have hardly heard of politicians who've committed suicide because they failed. I have hardly or rarely do I hear of these politicians rather, who wake up and murder people and they just don't want to go on and they sit. I'm sure there are some, but not very many, because I think that during political science classes, I haven't done that too, but they are taught how to get up from failure. You have lost it. Remember, these people use so much money they use, so much, running around, this is all these cost implications, and the time and all that. But when they don't get those positions, I see most of them dust up and just start doing something else. Of course, there is all that pain, there's that feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, but they have a way of just dusting up themselves and getting up. I've seen people in businesses who have collapsed. I have collapsed once in my business, and I almost gave up, and I didn't stay home. I had another job yet, but I almost left that business. But when I sat down, I said, no, I was trying to blanket so many things under one roof. Why don't I just pick up one line and go with it? I'm good at it. I think this will make me, prosper. And that's what I did. You've done your examination and you've probably got a fail, but you have not gone back to that paper, or to whatever it is, your merit list, and you have not checked that out of all these 12 subjects that I did that gave me a fail, there must have been one or two that I did very well in, and I love that subject, whatever it is. Why don't you go back and analyze and pick it up, and go and probably do a bridging course in it? Because I have seen a relative who picked up 1 point of what they thought was a failure in the exams and went with it, and as we speak now, he is good. So what does failure teach us? Failure teaches us that we can always look at, a problem in a different way. We can always go around it or just take a little branch, you know, and we can always get successful from that failure. You don't have to begin a fresh one. You can begin a fresh one and still succeed. I'm not saying you don't do that, but we can still pick up from that failure and move and still succeed. So I am here today talking to someone who has taken up their failure and put it in their closet, and it is dragging them back. They cannot move forward. They are sitting down and thinking, I can't do anything with myself because I tried this. I tried cooking uji. I tried cooking githeri for people, and the clients didn't come back. Why didn't they come back? Did you check your location? Did you market properly? So there are so many things that could be affecting your failure. So do not take it and stuff it inside your heart or your head. It is hindering you from moving forward. I gave an example of the politicians, an example of business people. I mean, there's this guy I was reading a book about. He was called, Thomas Edison. I think he came up with the light, something about phonograph and incandescent electric light that dealt with telephone speakers and microphones. That was a while back. I read that book, and this guy, what I realized is that he was partially deaf, and this guy could not even take care of his finances very well. So he's trying out something he's good at, but there's these other things he's not good at. He keeps trying them and he keeps failing at them. Even this that he was trying to do, he kept failing in many attempts, and despite the fact that he was partially deaf, because he said that with my partial deafness, if I could hear what someone could say, then it means everyone else would hear it very clearly. Look at this guy, And finally, he managed to do it. Everybody kept telling him, why is he struggling? I mean, he can't even hear himself, I remember my own story when I lost my two children, because I've done that episode in one of my stories. So what happened was, the fear that was in me that could not make me make another attempt at having more children. I kept feeling like I was a failure. I tried doing this. I thought I was a failure until I went for my counseling classes. And in my counseling classes, I was taught to look at what happened instead of looking at what I think I didn't do. And I employed a house help that I had just gotten randomly, and for the other child, I just picked a random hospital that I went to. I didn't even finish all my clinics properly. So I decided, if I have another child, then because I need to work, I still need help, I will probably have someone who knows how to take care of children very well, and I will try and use a gynecologist so that my child is checked at least until the time that I have the baby. And I'm comfortably raising 3 children right now, and all that fear is gone, and I don't feel like a failure anymore. You know, so I am here today to talk to someone or to encourage someone who is sitting out there and thinking that they have failed twice or thrice or even once in doing something, and just go back and find out what happened. You know, look at what you can do very well. You don't have to start a laundry and do all the clothes. You can't start a laundry and say, I'm only doing suits, and you are good at doing suits. Then that's it. That's just it. You can't start a food place and want to cook every meal. You can say, I am only doing fish. I come from the lakeside, so I had to give that as an example. I am only doing fish. How am I going to do my fish? I'm going to do stewed. I'm going to do fried. I'm going to do. So it's just fish. So everybody knows you do very good fish and they would come to you for fish. So let us make other attempts at what we think we did not do well the previous time. I'm so glad having to have spoken with somebody today. Please, let's make attempt. Let us not allow the failure we went through before to be able to stop us from moving forward. I'm your host, Teresa Patricia Cheng, also known as Tripat, and I'm so happy talking with you. Let's meet again next time. Thank you and bye.